Alrighty. Hello and welcome, everybody, to tonight's stream. It's going to be quite exciting, I must say. Back to the normal stuff. Got the music going. Yeah, I was just checking with my headphones here to the side of me. But yeah, back to the normal stuff. Well, I guess I could show you all my cards. Before we start, I'll actually expand the webcam here and you'll see all the cards from, well, that search for Castle Garenbrig that didn't lead to them. The aftermath, I guess you could say. I'm still organizing quite a bit, and I bet I will find them. But boom, poof, there we go. Right, and we'll get into the normal stuff in 1 second, but save that. Yeah, so right behind me. Whoa, oh, okay. Hopefully it doesn't disconnect, but yeah, that's the aftermath, some of my cards, and then off to the side there. On the end of the bed. Right there is just a massive, massive tub. But all kinds of different things, and that is what you guys see. Got my phone there. Yes, everything. Cut, how's it going? Just showing a nice clean desk from all those cards in that stream that I had. Oh, it is a big pile of cards. All lots of lovely, lovely goodies right there. Stanley, how's it going? Yeah, I figure I could do this a little bit more just because my webcam is somewhat mobile. I guess I have to remember where to look is the other thing. I'm looking up where it used to be, but yeah, lots to go through, lots to organize. I have lots of storage boxes, but let's get that back in place. Right, stay. Sometimes it gets a little bit loose, unfortunately. That should be about right. Roughly that. If my head cuts off the card text, of course, I'm sure you guys will let me know. Boom, there we go. Save that. Back in business. I think that worked pretty slick. Could show off some more stuff. Definitely could show you guys if it is ever snowing. It won't be snowing a whole lot because we're basically past winter at this point, which I guess is kind of nice, I must say. Well, yeah, continuing on with big scary dinos. I was messing around with a tamer list, adding in blue, potentially splashing for black or white or blue, as long as that card takes 1 pip of that specific color. If there's something nice that takes 1 black, 1 white, 1 blue, that I think can be pretty consistently had with Topiary Stomper, 4 of them, and Thunderherd Migration. I would have 1 plains, 1 swamp, or 1 island in the list here. Possibly the only way I can get mana for my splash, but I'd probably add some other triome or whatever it is. But either I would see that basic land, or I would see one of these 8 things that can help me get there, or the treasures from treasure map can be used to pay for that splashed color, or the Celestis, something like that taps for 1 mana of any color. So possibly I'm gonna explore splashes a little bit in the future. Quite exciting, I must say. Double check if the chat is going good. Yes. I think sometimes I just have to refresh it. It does cut out on me a little bit there. Camera's all looking good. I was a little bit worried when I reset everything up that it would look the same, basically, and that seems to be the case. But yes, tonight I'm going crazy. I've been trying this for a little bit, starting off with treasure map. So there is 16 things that cost 2. I should be all but guaranteed to see at least one thing that costs 2 in my opening hand, and oftentimes I should basically see 2 things that cost 2. Whatever combination it is, I'd probably be pretty happy with that. But I kind of feel like it might be nice doing so much of these things that accelerate and get to the bigger things, Carnage Tyrant and Tyrranax Rex, which is down to 3 copies. I don't know, I still like 4 copies. There is often games, and you wouldn't expect it, where I don't see a single copy of Tyrranax Rex or Carnage Tyrant, both at 4, a total of 8 scary dinos. I may only see 1 Carnage Tyrant, unfortunately, and that's just how it goes. You never know what you're going to get tonight. We don't know what we're going to get. As always, mana base is basically the same, continuing with the Temple of Abandons, potentially keeping hands that are a little bit more greedy, because I do get to scry and dig or get closer to another land when this enters. Sideboard basically is, well, it's pretty similar. It changed up the most, I must say. Back to nature. I've been facing a lot of enchantment decks. Perhaps you guys have been using them or facing them yourselves. Fires of Invention, Enigmatic Incarnation, Leyline Binding, all those nasty, nasty things. Back to nature is going to, well, basically win that matchup. I faced them enough that I feel good bringing this in. Maybe we bring it in for Fable of the Mirror Breaker, Reflection of Kiki Jiki. If that's the only thing this takes out, that's still not terrible. It's pretty good. If they pay 3 to get a 2/2 goblin that can make a treasure token, and then we kill it before they have the potential to discard cards, draw 2 cards, possibly sculpt their hand and get to something even nastier. Get possibly 2 turns ahead, which is pretty big. But kill it before they do that. That would be good. Rampaging. I faced a bunch of life gain stuff, so that is back in. And aggressive little things. Chips away. Weathered Runestone. Shuts down enough, I think. Stops some of that Atraxa Grand Unifier reanimation nastiness. When she enters the battlefield, you look at the top 10 cards of your library and you can grab a card of each type that's in the game, basically. I don't like that. And it's quite versatile. Of course, it is redundant, so I have 3 copies. People probably use 2, but I think it is impactful enough in those matchups. Brotherhood's End, that's the sweeper of sweepers. Fantastic. I was thinking of upping it a little bit with Storm's Wrath to deal 4 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. Or burn down the house, that sort of thing. But I think Brotherhood's End is enough, and I may need to cast it soon. So having something that is 3 instead of 4 oftentimes can make all the difference. And just a single copy of Clothis. A little bit more graveyard hate. Pretty good potential to turn her on and make her a creature with so many creatures and lots of devotion. There's probably a pretty good chance, a pretty good case that I could simply start off with Clothis, always have it in. At the very least, it would chip away at the opponents, 2 damage each of our turns. Yeah, maybe one day start off with 1, have 1 in the sideboard, but it is nice to have something indestructible at some point. Often enough, I feel. Well, yeah, jump into things, get her going. I went down farther than I would have liked in golds, bouncing around a little bit there. That's all right. You never know what's going to happen, how it's going to happen. I've certainly had, bumpy days in the past. Quite all right, though. You got to take the good with the bad. Here in life, whatever it is. That's a little bit interesting. No, we could make that work, definitely. I mean, it's no source of red for Marauding, but we do have 2 sources of green for Topiary Stomper. 2 chances to see. Well, you know what? I'm going to keep it. Again, because there is lots of stuff for 2. Could be a Thunderherd Migration, a treasure map, which we would be able to play. Any third land, even if it's another forest. It's not the end of the world. Going Topiary Stomper on turn 3 and grabbing a mountain, definitely, if we have not seen it yet. But it is nice seeing Ghalta, which also reminds me, 2 copies. The past few days, I've used 2 copies of the Queen, and it's just not quite enough, I feel. To play about 10, maybe 15 matches a day, something like that. So I've got a pretty good feeling that 2, I don't really like it. 3 is probably the sweet spot again, as it has been in the past. Sometimes 4 copies, but I have to make enough space for the other big scary dinos. Yeah, there's a good chance we'll see treasure map, Thunderherd Migration, or another land. Ooh, Black Devotion. This could be painful. Oh, there we go, folks. We got it. Now, there's a very good chance that Marauding Raptor probably would get killed by someone, something. I'm gonna go with Topiary Stomper if, for whatever reason, I might want to fight something problematic. They won't be able to play Shieldred next turn. But of course, Domri playing him gets Topiary Stomper to 5 power. Even though we can't attack or block, we can then trade with Shieldred, using Domri to fight that scary Phyrexian creature. Ugh. Nasty. Misery Shadow. Okay. Not too bad. Warlock class, yes. Classic. Mono Black Devotion. We're going to have to go as fast as humanly possible. And my 2 copies of Ghalta. Interesting. I would say 2 copies in the top 11 cards, but it's not the 11 cards, because when we played Topiary Stomper, we actually switched or shuffled the entire deck. Yeah, Celestis, Marauding. I like that. It would be nice to defend or use Domri just to get him down. But Domri definitely is not nearly as stable as the ramp of Celestis. Hopefully next turn getting to Ghalta. I think there's a pretty good chance. We do see Carnage Tyrant. I must say, we will see Carnage Tyrant even if Marauding Raptor kicks the can. The Celestis plus 3 other lands gets us 4 mana to use Castle Garenbrig's ability. That would be pretty good. I would like Ghalta, but I suspect if they have a decent bit of mana up, Ghalta might go down. Okay, tapped out. This could be interesting. Oh, excuse me, I've even drank a lot of coffee, drank a lot of water, and yeah, I'm still tired. Nope, can't do it just in case. There could be some pretty nice uses of Marauding Raptor. Alright. We're going to do some lovely stuff right here. We'll get Castle Garenbrig for 6. It doesn't matter a whole lot. We can go Shifting for 3, Ghalta for 2, which is a total of 5, or Castle Garenbrig. We would be left with... Yeah, we would have 1 green left over anyway, so it's not a big deal. See if they want to get rid of that gifted Aetherborn. It would be pretty nice. Something with Death Touch. 1 less Death Touch thing, and then next turn, I'd hopefully use Domri, Topiary Stomper to fight the 2nd gifted Aetherborn. Take down their Devotion to black quite nicely. Then I don't have any Death Touch things to worry about. That's going to take out Ghalta. But that is some fantastic bodies. And it's just lovely, again, to start off seeing the Queen as much as I am right now. But facing a bronze. Yeah, you can imagine it was a pretty bumpy day, but that's okay. Phyrexian Arena, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, Tyrranax Rex. Well, Carnage Tyrant would be nice, of course. We do have to get rid of the Gifted Aetherborn. Definitely don't even think about anything. That's got to happen so we can preserve Ghalta. Of course, we do have another copy, but you know, we can make use of Topiary Stomper. We're still well a ways away from 7 lands, so might as well be Topiary that dies to this Gifted Aetherborn. I hope. There's not a whole lot they can do for a single black from Castle Garenbrig there. Good stuff. Alright. Liking looks of that. Now possibly they've got Fatal Push, which they can use to take out, yes, Shifting Ceratops. Yeah. It's not the end of the world because they're staring down 13 trample damage. I don't think they can kill us next turn. I'm going to save that copy of Ghalta. I suspect they could kill this one. I was thinking of playing my second copy to, in a way, give it vigilance, having something untapped that could block Misery Shadow, but we're not so low that I think there's any way they can kill us this turn. And Misery Shadow probably is just going to attack Domri. Shield Red, oh. Well, well, well. It's going to get nasty next turn. They're going to make enough mana that they can go with Warlock class. Excuse me. But I think we've got enough to the next level of Warlock class, the final level. We should have enough to get her done. It's only 6-2. Okay. I believe this allows for Tyrranax Rex here. Yes, yes, there we go. Math is hard, but man, that does the trick. Oh, fantastic. Both of them have to block, which is quite nice. So I don't have a whole lot of devotion. And I mean, Phyrexian Arena would just finish them off anyways. So it's nice we were able to get these things down. I think for the most part, exact, yes. Oh, fantastic. Sometimes, I mean, you know, and you see Carnage Tyrant is highlighted, but there might be one source of mana that is getting you to that final point that gets to Tyrranax Rex. And I mean, right there, that made perfect sense. But Mono Black Devotion, that can be pretty problematic. They do have a fair bit of life gain to go around, but definitely cut. I'm happy to see Tyrranax Rex. Again, I do like having the full 4 copies. But going back to the life gain thing, they got a decent amount of that with Sheoldred, with Gifted Aetherborn. Gary, of course, when he enters the battlefield, we lose life, they gain life, so at least we stop half that. Even just keeping them at a lower life might do the trick. Actually, Back to Nature, that could be nice. Back to Nature to take out Phyrexian Arena and Warlock class, at the very least, would be nice to hurt their devotion. Huntmaster definitely dead quite easily to the fatal pushes. We still got plenty of things for 2, so we don't have to worry too much with that. Brotherhood's End, possibly, can be pretty nice, but they could easily respond to Brotherhood's End, pumping up Misery Shadow, getting it potentially to 4 toughness, surviving that 3 damage, and then we don't take out Sheoldred. Nah, we won't do Brotherhood's End. Lukka, Bound to Ruin, might be the thing that helps us out. I hope. I'll keep it like that. I have a pretty good feeling about this. But definitely try to shut down their life gain. If you ever have to face Mono Black Devotion, keep in mind that they can run away with things. Can really save them. Even if it's just Shieldred, of course. You know, perhaps you got Rampaging down, you save 3-4 turns of life gain from them whenever they draw a card. But remember, Phyrexian Arena, they draw an extra card each turn, but they lose a life. However, if Shieldred's down, of course, they gain 2 life. So they still are technically up 1. That is not a good time. So maybe I probably should have brought in Back to Nature for that fact, and Warlock class as well. Yikes. There's the Rampaging, like I said, but we got to dig a little bit closer for a 3rd land, possibly. Of course, Rampaging Frostodon I could have played with. Marauding Raptor, ooh, well, never mind. I may be losing Marauding Raptor. I imagine that's going to be the case unless they do have a Fatal Push. Topiary Stomper would probably be pretty good. Stop that stable ramp. It is nice, though. I must say, seeing my only copy of the Celestis, I like that. I've been looking for 3-cost artifacts that ramp, and definitely the Celestis makes sense. Bring it up for you guys there. Pay 3, tap it. If it's night, it becomes day. Otherwise, it becomes night. Activate only as a sorcery. Whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, you gain a life. You may draw a card. If you do, you discard a card. Ooh, they took out Marauding. Nuts. So the Celestis is an extra way to kind of filter if you have an extra land, whatever it is. You could just keep it in hand, wait until day or night switches, and then draw a card, hoping for something other than the land, and then you just get rid of that land. So there's the Scry from Treasure Map to dig, the potential recycling with the Celestis there, and the ramping, and oh, yikes, this is not doing good. Pterosaurus. Oh, I did not tell people about how I whipped you today, but my goodness, that was pretty sweet. Just the fact alone that we got to face each other. But yeah, anybody that didn't see on the Discord, I faced Pterosaurus today, and who would have expected that? Were not a lot of people playing at the time. Did the algorithm see another dinosaur player, and they immediately jumped on it, and we faced each other? But yeah, that was I saw a couple dinos. I was like, oh, dinos, that's interesting. I got to see whose their name is. I didn't really read it. Sometimes I don't. I'm like, oh, hey, whoa, what's going on? Like I said, destruction is going on at the moment, though. There was a lot of destruction in our match we had this afternoon. Maybe I should do a fan fight or a fan duel night, something like that. But we're not recovering from that. We would have been taking at least 6 the following turn, 8 after we draw a card from Shieldred. Ugh, painful. That's okay. Yeah, I suspected, you'd probably be using some of the same stuff. The Rhythm of the Wild, I must say, I appreciate that for sure. It might be something I should use a little more often, although, like I was just mentioning, something that costs 3, that taps for mana, that also does a thing similar to the Celestis or the Celestis itself. Just adding in 1 copy of it because it is legendary seems to make sense. Oh, I know. Thunderherd, again, you can't Fatal Push a basic land, you can't sweep a basic land. I think Thunderherd is better than Drover of the Mighty. Both Drover and Thunderherd, they get you 1 land or 1 mana ahead. Of course, Thunderherd or Drover, the backup case of it being a 3/3 is very good. Possibly a 4/3 with Domri, Anarch of Bolas's buff. But it dies so easily, as we've all probably experienced if you've played Dinos and you've used Drover. With the right list, you should have enough dinos to be able to pretty consistently use Thunderherd every turn too. And possibly Thunderherd could be better than Drover. With Thunderherd, you get that basic land, but you're drawing out a land from the deck, which is increasing the chance of seeing something that isn't a land if you have enough lands to play a thing. If Thunderherd was a land and you still had the same amount of lands in, say you had 20 lands in total plus 4 Thunderherds, or 24 lands in total and 4 Thunderherds. 20 with 4 Thunderherds. You just have more space, basically, is what I'm saying. You could kind of think of using 20 lands with 4 Thunderherds as if you had 24 lands in total. Oh, it's there, it's there. I'm not really good at explaining it, but you get the idea. Free up space. Speaking of Thunderherd Migration, well, we had to get a good hand eventually. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I have so many big scary dinos. I'll send them both to the bottom. Play it safe. Thunderherd, though. Treasure map. Hopefully, you do open up some treasure maps at some point, Pterosaurus. And exactly like I was saying, I mean, we didn't have a dino, but we drew the Topiary. And this is going to be some incredibly fantastic ramp. Ah, no, that's okay. It's hard not to be aggressive. It's very exciting and thrilling. Topiary Stomper, that's going to be nice. If we get that Carnage Tyrant, we're able to play it next turn. Although we'll probably just go Lukka. But yeah, just, I don't know. It's tempting. I'm always tempted to be as aggressive as possible, do as much as I humanly can, and sometimes it gets the better of me. Well, I think all of us, we're not immune to it. Immune to times like that. Could be nice just making a bunch of Phyrexian Beast tokens with Lukka here. That's a pretty good backup plan. I mean, if they take it out this turn, we have enough lands. Paying 5 for a 3/3 Toxic 1 is not so good. But hopefully they have to invest a decent amount of resources to take out Lukka here. Oh, hey, that's alright. Definitely, if you're using Rhythm of the Wild, each creature you cast or enters the battlefield, one of those. But they gain Riot, so they can enter with a 1/1 counter or haste. So it's natural to, if they have haste, you want to make use of it. Maybe you hastily chose haste instead of the counter just because you want to be as aggressive, take them as low as possible. But sometimes it can be hard to evaluate everything. Okay, watch this. We're going to take out Shieldred. This is good. We get Domri, or Topiary to 5 power Lukka. We do his -4. Boom. 5 to that. Submit 1. That's what I want to be doing. Even though we lost Lukka. Phew. Kill Shieldred as fast as humanly possible on site whenever you can. That should be alright. But yeah, who doesn't want to be aggressive with dinos? It's hard to resist the urge. I mean, one of their abilities, pseudo abilities, is called Enrage. That is not a passive sounding name at all. Maybe they kill something. I think there's a pretty good chance we're left with this token, but Fatal Push, a Noxious Grasp. We can play literally anything at this point. We've got... wow, it's happened. There were so many games today with 4 copies of Tyrranax Rex. Never seeing it. This one has 3 variants. It happens, but this is Oh. I just had to relish that moment a little bit. Top decking the big scary dino starting off tonight. Oh, that is a magic card. Yes, good game. Good game indeed. But cut, again, low land counts. You're always going to have times, and I've had lots of times making me second guess myself. Playing 19 lands, I'm not drawing stuff. But I got to put it in perspective. Play as many games as possible with 19 lands. Get the best feel I can for this with all the other ramp. Some games you just won't draw stuff. Whether you have 24 lands, 28 lands, you will get mana screwed, mana flooded. It happens to everybody. Got to put the baby to bed. All right, good stuff. Mine is asleep. You guys may have seen the camera, the monitor when I started tonight. But, wow, that was good. And I think it's kind of nice with Lukka. I may up the copies just because Lukka can divide. It's -4. Deal damage based on the creature with the greatest power. Deal it to creatures and planeswalkers. Divided. Lovely stuff. But just the fact you can make those Phyrexian Beast tokens with Toxic. Perhaps I've gotten 2 swings off with them. Then they get swept. Oh, excuse me. I ate too much for supper. But the Phyrexian Beast tokens. Say I've gotten 2 hits off with them. They're sitting at 2 poison counters and then they all die. That's okay because then Tyrranax Rex comes in, hits them for 2 hits. 8 plus 2, the exact 10. So I don't actually need to hit with Tyrranax Rex the 3rd turn, getting him to 10 poison counters. I mean, if I hit anybody with Tyrranax Rex 3 times, they may just be dead from the damage anyways, so probably doesn't matter at that point. Oof. Okay, I'm gonna make this work. I've tried it before. Yeah, we're on the draw. We should, if the math is right, if the math holds up, we should always basically be seeing 2 lands by turn 2 on the draw. I think Thunderherd is going away, unfortunately. Hopefully that's not the case. That's a tough one. Probably something for 2. I would bet it's one of these things for 2. Okay, shift. Oh! Like I said, look at that. There's roughly a 98-99% chance that I see 2 lands by turn 2 on the draw. I'll show the article. I'll try and find it for you guys at some point to put it up in the Discord, so keep an eye out for that. But boom, there it is. I got the 2 I want. I got 2 things for 2. I'll go with Thunderherd Migration, of course, just to get a little bit ahead. I think Thunderherd in this case is superior. Hopefully it resolves. They don't have a counter spell. Crossing my fingers. Oh, okay. This is good. So, consider this. Thunderherd for 2, I get a land. Or Treasure Map for 2. Then I tap Treasure Map next turn. I can't tap Treasure Map the turn I played anyways. A 4th land. With Thunderherd Migration, I get to play Treasure Map and tap it that turn. Still effectively the same as if I had played it on turn 2, tapped it on turn 3. I can play it on turn 3 and tap it on turn 3. And I get ahead in mana, so that just makes sense. So there's kind of a nice pairing right there with Thunderherd and Treasure Map. Boom, we're at 5 lands. There you go. Wow, that is fantastic stuff. But yeah, I like that. Getting to 3 lands. Oh, Castle Garenbrig. That is why I like to... Yeah, definitely why I like to have all 4 copies. Not too bad. At least they didn't go with another Thoughtseize, and they were probably getting kind of scared. Reading it, knowing, and seeing in our hand that we could get to Carnage Tyrant pretty quick. Luckily, well, they discarded a Sensor. They may have been able to counter Lukka. They might still be able to counter Lukka when I try to play it this turn. I'm just going to tap Treasure Map. It's not the most efficient use of mana this turn, but I suspect again that they had funny business up their sleeve, and seeing Marauding Raptor come up, that makes me feel pretty good. The fact that Treasure Map is going to flip next turn, we'll have a total of 6 available mana with the 3 lands that are still untapped, plus the 3 treasures. We can go Marauding for 2 and Regisaur for 4, if it makes sense to do so, but let's just get this thing flipped. Oh, Ghalta. Well, things did just get interesting. My, oh my. I imagine they're holding up something for something. I'm going to try for Marauding and see what happens. Okay, we drew the counterspell. Not so bad. Now the question is Lukka. You know what? I'm going to go with Lukka instead, even though I can't play anything much. I mean, I can make a thingamajig. Now I'll get them to 4 just in case. I think there's a pretty good chance they could have had a fatal push, killing that beast, the Phyrexian beast that I would have made. Okay. Here goes nothing. And if they ever play Shieldred, they are in black Dimir Control. I think there can be a somewhat good chance of that happening. Okay, we've got a Torrential Gearhulk up our sleeves. That's not so good. I should have played Shifting Ceratops. I should have listened to my gut. Nuts. Of course, Shifting, able to infinitely block Torrential Gearhulk. We're going to be losing Lukka, sadly. Man, that Torrential Gearhulk, painful. Flash, whenever it enters the battlefield, you may cast target instant from your graveyard without paying its cost. Ugh. Shoot. Nuts. When they see Carnage Tyrant, they don't have to worry about... Oh. They might sacrifice him. They definitely would sacrifice whatever we play, so... Yeah, we'll just reveal Carnage Tyrant. Woohoo. Scary. Pretend like we don't have anything else we could have played. Whether or not that affects the course of events is another question, but now they see... We might be going Carnage Tyrant next turn. Shieldred's Edict is going to be kind of problematic. I may just go Regisaur Alpha just to get 2 bodies. Although they can choose non-token creature or creature token. So it's not just sacrifice a creature, sadly. Oh, and look at all this nastiness. We might be done in. Oh, Castle Garenbrig. Okay, we got some options here. Let me think. We can get to 8. We can't go double of something this turn. Carnage Tyrant, likely they want to make us sacrifice. Drown in the Lock. They can't counter Carnage or Shifting. So we got to draw out this Shieldred's Edict. Definitely. I'll tap Castle Garenbrig. Get going with this. Draw out stuff. We may just be dead at this point, unfortunately. Yeah, that's looking like it. Painful. Painful. Those sacrifice effects, they really do us in. Quite a bit. Hopefully they don't have more counter spells. We'll get this down. We'll get Shifting Ceratops. We'll have 2 actual creature bodies. And then maybe Shifting Ceratops can survive, I hope. Hopefully they don't have any removal for Topiary Stomper. Or just 2 things that make us sacrifice creatures, which could be definitely a possibility. Dimir, it can be okay. It's not nearly as much of my favorite as Azorius Control is. Oh, Liv, you can do it. Nuts. I jinxed myself talking about Shieldred's Edict. Well, we're not dead yet. Actually, no, we are dead. Hall of the Storm Giants, what am I thinking? That tends to do the trick. Yeah, that's too bad. I think it would have been good just getting the Shifting Ceratops down. Being able to maybe block that Torrential Gear Hulk a little bit. But Clothis, Weathered Runestone, stopping Torrential Gear Hulk from casting stuff or just being a bother. And Memory Deluge, flashback, casting it from the graveyard, Weathered Runestone does shut that down as well. Yep, we're cutting Huntmaster. They got a lot of things that make us sacrifice it, so Weathered Runestone, Clothis, that makes sense to me. No big creatures, really. Not a lot of creatures at all. We'll leave it like that. I was thinking Rampaging Frostodon just as another smaller creature. Could be good for some nice aggression, and they likely have Shieldred, so they have a little bit of life gain there. Sometimes they might not have much of any creature, so Rampaging Frostodon could get some nice chipping damage in, and it just might increase the number of bodies we have, so we have something other than maybe a big dino that we can sacrifice, and we can save them a little bit easier, a little bit more consistently. Ooh. You know what that calls for? My goodness. Pain. Okay. Infinitely better. Beautiful. A lot of stuff for 2. That's what I want to see. We don't have to go Weathered Runestone turn 2. It's not like a super dedicated graveyard strategy. Certainly we'll still go with Thunderherd Migration and Carnage Tyrant. Yeah, definitely want to keep that. Or send that to the bottom, unfortunately. I'm winning. We'll get there. We'll get there, I think. But, yeah, cut. Gonna play some RCQs? I think so. Which list would be worth playing? That's hard to say. Arena, the ladder, in Explorer, it's a little similar to Pioneer, but there's still big differences to what Pioneer is in paper. So, I don't know. It's hard to say. I would have to play Magic Online, actual Pioneer leagues, challenges, whatever they're called there, just to get a really good feel and see the actual differences between the two. Just like official tournaments using official rules, strict rules, basically. I've never played in one yet, but yes, first step to the Pro Tour. Yeah, Topiary Stomper, they're not going to be countering anything for 1. Then we've got 5. We're able to go with Regisaur Alpha quite nicely, and it is nice to see 2 copies. Dino's going pro. That's the plan. I've wanted to go pro in League of Legends. My internet was never good enough. I felt I wanted to actually make a YouTube channel for League of Legends. But this is what I settled on. I started playing Magic before League of Legends was even a thing. But I'd always want to go pro, do as good as I can, practice against all the top decks, see what I can do best against them. And yeah, try for Domri. Hope it doesn't get countered. Perhaps they were expecting me to go Regisaur Alpha and they had a sensor that they were going to use against it. Cross your fingers Domri doesn't go down though. Ether Gust. And we'll keep him on top. I want counter spell protection. Yeah, going pro, that would be the dream. Doing this as a job, also a dream. Well, not so much a dream because I'm living it right now. Whether or not it's, you know, progressing fast, depends on how you look at things. I love how it's gone so far. I'll keep doing it. Maybe there's some ways I could have been at 2,000, 10,000 subscribers if I'd done things a little bit differently by this point. That's all right. I like the way I'm doing things now. Yes, definitely Rhythm of the Wild, get that counterspell protection 100%. And hope they don't have... Oh, yikes. That's pretty good on them. They took out Topiary Stomper to get 3 cards in my graveyard to be able to drown in the lock and counter Domri. Because they had 3... Oh my goodness, what... This is not a pretty sight. But it is Dimir Control, and that is what happens sometimes. However, hopefully they don't have something for shifting. Nuts. That was not a fun turn of events, but it is not unheard of. Okay, they don't have anything at instant speed that can make a sacrifice. This is positive. Yes, it is a pretty nasty deck, I must say. Let's hope they don't find anything. But it would be nice to take dinos to the Pro Tour. You never know. Anything can happen, certainly with this game. There's so much variance and randomness. Ooh, Ghalta. Well, we can't go Ghalta. We can get Castle Garenbrig for 6, but we're still 1 off, unfortunately. So we'll just keep swinging in. If they don't have removal for shifting, we might get them. Oh. Okay. Oh boy. Maybe they forget how protection from blue works. Carnage Tyrant, there it is. Lovely. It is a pretty nasty deck, but big scary dinos are also quite nasty. Make it a... Oh, okay. I thought maybe they didn't know how the protection from blue worked. The Hall of the Storm Giant's creature couldn't have blocked Shifting Ceratops anyways. Okay. Yeah. Keep it like that. At least I gave it back to them in fantastic, splendid fashion. It is always nice when you can push through multiple thought seizes and sacrifices. But yeah, definitely you can see why this is not nearly as favored for me as Azorius Control. Azorius, of course, doesn't have the thought seizes or all those painful sacrifice effects. Pretty good, pretty good. I will say the new Lukka, I don't get to use his -4 nearly as much as I thought I would. I think in a pinch, even if you play him for 4, he's sitting at 3 loyalty, I think. And then you make a Phyrexian Beast. Maybe you just make a couple of beasts. That still seems alright. Or the ramp. Even if you play him for 4 and then next turn he's still alive and you use him to get 2 ahead, likely getting enough to play that Carnage Tyrant. But just the fact that the new Lukka is ramp, it's a creature, and it's removal for multiple things. That is the exact package that I'm looking for. Similar to Chandra, Torch of Defiance. She's ramp, she's removal, she can be extra cards. Domri Anarch of Bolas is ramp, removal, power. Just planeswalkers that ramp and can remove things. That's why I've been liking a sort of mix of Domri Anarch of Bolas, Chandra Torch of Defiance, and Lukka. Very, very nice indeed. But this person, they goofed. They should have gotten rid of Thunderherd Migration. Fortunately for us, they did not. Hopefully they don't have a counter spell for one. Spell Pierce. Phew. Oh, Edict is the nastiest. Even if, you know, we have maybe that little dino token in Carnage Tyrant, it still doesn't matter, of course, because with Edict you can specify creature token or non-token creature. It's not a good time. We do need another source of green if they take out the Celestus. I was worried they might counter it, but as it is now, we're able to get to within range for Carnage Tyrant or Tyrranax Rex. Yes, yes, Pterosaurus. You certainly do know it. And like I was saying, the recycling effect, we have 2 Ghaltas, might as well draw an extra card this turn, because chances are we don't need 2, we might. Yeah, another Castle Garenbrig, that's okay. At the very least, we'll keep using the Celestus again to cycle through stuff. On the off chance I do get flooded, even with 19 lands, we got plenty to pay that extra 3. Now, watch this. This will be fun. We'll tap Castle Garenbrig for the mana. Use it as efficiently as possible. We put a basic land into play, and then we also get to tap that, plus another land to get the 3 for Celestus, to turn it night and day. Flip it around. Send probably this mountain back. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Undo Z. Oh, yeah. Never mind. You can only do it as a sorcery. I always think effects like that, you can do them at any time, but there is, yes, that line in the Celestus where you can only activate it as a sorcery, sadly. Just got a copy of Domri for Fight Commander. Very, very good. Yes, it is fantastic against counter spells and Rhythm of the Wild, of course, for extra added protection. I think Regisaur Alpha probably is going to go down at this point, sadly. I don't play Commander too much, but you guys have gotten me to do Historic Brawl a couple nights. Not too much. And it's pretty hard to build a Commander deck, I feel. Well, we'll go with Castle Garenbrig, make 6 green, plus the Celestus for our source of red, just to have lots of extra mana if it's something that is wanting us to pay extra. We wouldn't have been able to go Ghalta plus Regisaur anyways. Oh, okay. Interesting. The rules of who can be a commander. I think it's any planeswalker, any legendary creature, something like that. And then whatever their color identity is. So in their casting cost, or, excuse me, if they have an ability that has a mana symbol on them, then that's also some of the colors you can use in your deck. Zetalpa Commander, huh? I think it probably would have to be a 3-colored dinosaur, Zakama or Gishath. Gishath, of course, I think is the most popular for dinosaur commander people. Oh. My son is up. We put him in the bedside crib tonight for the first time, and started off pretty good. Hopefully it continues to do well. I guess maybe Historic Brawl is a little bit different. You can use any planeswalker as your commander, but then that's not the case in normal paper commander. But again, I don't play it too much. Oh, we can play Ghalta. Do I want to play Ghalta though? They got 3. That's the question. Let's try it. I want to give it a go. Probably should have done Celestis's ability. Okay, they don't have anything. They're digging for something that can stop the queen. Fussy when I put her... Oh, nuts. Oh, that is good. That is good. You always hope they go to sleep as quick and easily as possible. Hopefully this isn't a Shieldred's edict coming down, making a sacrifice to queen. Well, what's happening? Okay, they didn't take out the token, they didn't take out Ghalta, they have nothing at instant speed, at the very least, for 2. Extinction event. Nuts. That is not good. Where's Tyrranax Rex when you need him? Usually I only have to read 1 book to my daughter to put her to sleep. Sometimes it is, well, a little bit more than 1. Might take 3. Oftentimes it is the same book every night. Oh, Shifting Ceratops. Well. Marauding. I can go with Shifting. Can't attack with it this turn. That is the thing. Unfortunately. Let me think. Go with, I'm going to go with the mountain. And hope they can't make us sacrifice it. I don't think they can, just because they didn't make us sacrifice Ghalta. I think there's a pretty good chance they would have had a counter spell, if anything. Maybe that's the thing they drew. The darn Ether Gust. Okay, that's quite alright. We can still give Shifting Ceratops haste next turn. Unless, of course, they do Field of the Ruin, making us shuffle Shifting off the top. Hopefully, of course, we draw another copy. Or Tyrranax Rex. They could potentially help us here. Censor is not going to help you, though. That's for sure. Castle Garenbrig. Make a bunch of mana. Play this good old Marauding. That's where I want to be. Okay. Well, this is still, perfectly good. We got Shifting. Hasty, it's going to take him down to 5. Then I just have to hope they don't have something painful for it. Or just removal for it next turn. Oh, here goes nothing. Oh boy. But again, we could easily draw a Carnage Tyrant, a Tyrranax Rex. You can see, we haven't seen those guys too much. So, this game at least is an example of why I like to use... ouch. 4 and 4 of those 2 big scary dinos. Nuts. Drown in the lock. Painful. Hopefully we see Shifting Ceratops or... Shifting Ceratops. Okay. Oof. Maybe for the opponent. I hope. Yes. Oh. Bingo. Bingo, bango, yes. Bingo is quite appropriate for that. Beautiful stuff right there. Yeah, across the fingers, wow. Whew. It is pretty lovely. Shifting Ceratops is a dirt cheap card in paper. If you're not using it in paper, pick up 4 copies. That was a nice win cut. Yes. Yes, indeed. Luckily, I'm flying up, of course, with your wins in gold. In best of 3, you get 4 pips. So, even if you have a little bit of a slump, you'll get there. everybody should be basically guaranteed platinum, unless maybe you're doing something super wacky. Definitely well fought, 100% back and forth. But yeah, I love 4 copies of Shifting. I don't think I would ever use less than 4. Again, possibly less than 4 Carnage Tyrant or Tyrranax Rex, just because, you know, sometimes they are pretty expensive. But for the most part, you should always be able to cast Shifting. And, you know, the fact that Castle Garenbrig, you easily have enough with the 6 green to play Shifting, and you can use Castle Garenbrig's mana again for creature abilities. So with 6, you could play Shifting for 4, use the 5th green to give it haste, and the 6th green to give it trample. That's some pretty good synergy right there. Ooh, oh, wow. That it could be good. Couldn't get out of silver. Ooh. You just never know. It's it can be difficult sometimes. Doesn't matter what you're playing. I guess it's hard sometimes when you have slumpy moments, sticking with a list, just playing through. Maybe you have the right list and you make changes and it moves away from the right list, but you don't know that because just variance wise you had, you know, 3 or 4 games where things weren't so good, but it colored your opinion of a particular, you know, iteration of a deck. A rampy hand, yes, it certainly is. Another mono black again. Maybe not mono black devotion, perhaps. The question is, let's get treasure map stuff going. Seems like a very stable thing. Of course, could have gone Topiary Stomper, but I want to get treasure map happening. Regisaur Alpha, yeah. I'd rather increase the chance of drawing a land next turn instead. Yes, definitely. It's hard to stomach after losing. Well, we've probably lost here, but hard to stomach and continue with the exact same list. Say after you've lost 5 matches, you're like, something has to not be working. I've got to switch it up. But that might not be the case. You might still be onto something, and for whatever reason, you just lost. It's hard to say. Thunderherd Migration this turn. Sadly, we didn't draw another land, but we gotta keep doing something. Keep up the lands. We're gonna have plenty of mana next turn when that treasure map does flip. Kenris Transformation in the sideboard. Yes, that is a pretty fantastic catch-all. Again, I haven't used Kenris Transformation too much. Yeah, 100% cut. You said it. I do try to stay as positive as possible. Some nights are painful, but just stick with it. Go over the list. Do the math. How many things do you have at 2? What is the chance that you will see something at 2? You know, maybe you don't see it at 2, but the fact that there's 19 lands and there's roughly a 98% chance that I should see 2 lands, be able to start playing my stuff that costs 2. Oh, I'm down to 1. What was it? I was having such a good time talking to you guys that I didn't see how low I was, sadly. Oh, yeah, I know. Some months, you know, I've got to Mythic pretty easily. This match is going to be painful. Keep it as is. Try and go as fast as possible, but down to 1. Very quick. Yikes. Yeah, 100%. I mean, if it's matches and not best of 1, at minimum that's 20 games. Probably more. But maybe just minor tweaks, perhaps. You know, you have the base list, or you have a realization in one of those matches and it's a pretty clear realization that, oh, this really might not be good, but you got to see a lot of sample hands. You'll see all kinds of crazy stuff that, again, might turn you off. Not that. Again, so many things that cost 2. I should have seen something for 2, and here it is. Statistically, I should have seen something for 2 in every hand. You know what? I'm going to keep Tyrranax Rex. Send Shifting to the bottom just because it's probably going to die to various removal a lot more easily. Harder in the lower ranks. Oh, 100%. And especially early on, perhaps it does color things. People are using the absolute most optimized thing, which, I mean, I'm trying to usually use the most optimized version of Dino, so that makes sense. I'm not complaining because I want to go up against the most optimized stuff anyways, so it's not a bad thing. But if you're trying something out, definitely that will probably lead to painful moments. Not sure why the opponent said, oops, I guess they missed their land drop, or they didn't play a land, they forgot. I mean, we've got Tyrranax Rex next turn. That is stunning. Oh my goodness. So go Domri for a green. Green or red, doesn't really matter. Boom. And we hope they don't make us sacrifice the T-Rex. They might have. I mean, I've certainly kept some greedy hands, possibly. Oh, nothing for 2 that makes us sacrifice it is a good thing. We'll just keep ramping. Pulling stuff out of... Oh, they do have a Shield Edict. Nuts. That's okay. We got lots of good stuff coming up. Again, we did thin the deck out of 2 cards. Well, instead of 1. That Thunderherd could have been a land itself, but instead it was a Thunderherd. So it was a card, plus we pulled another card out, hoping that we're going to see something impactful. I got to find a better way to explain it. Hopefully you guys understood that. Well, I have nothing to discard, which is quite fantastic. But yeah, it's not a lot. It's not a big chance that it increases you to see something, but if it's 1 less land, it's a sliver of seeing something impactful. I'm going to take out Liliana just because I can. I've got exactly enough. It's not like it increases the chance of seeing a creature or something other than a land a 10%. I think it's like a 1 or 2% chance, but it's not nothing. You might as well. That 1 or 2% chance of seeing something other than a land might be what pushes the deck just past the point, getting you those last couple wins overall after, 100 matches or something. Those few wins that thinning the deck got you could have been all the difference. And we can't unfortunately fight that thing. It has protection from planeswalkers, or hexproof from planeswalkers, I should say. Yeah, life gain. Well, it's got to go down at some point. Let's just get rid of it. Castle Garenbrig, just in case they make us discard a card, might as well get that land down and hope we get somebody. Oh yes, 100%. Go through the motions, try and figure out exactly what's what you could do in any particular scenario, and then believing in that. You know exactly how the plays could go, and then you might not experience that specific sequence of cards, but that can happen. This game is all about variance. You know exactly how it could happen, and then if you did the math, you know, you see this card where there's a 25% chance to see this card in the top 10 cards of the deck. You factor all those things in and you just focus, and it should work out. But it takes a long time to think about all the different lines. If I draw this at this time against this, it's a lot of theory for sure, and it definitely doesn't beat playing it, I mean, in real life. Sadly, this is not going so good, I must say, but we will be able to take out Misery Shadow, I guess, at least. That's not nothing. My goodness. Hopefully we get somewhere at some point. This extinction event, at least it is only taking out that guy. But again, Liliana of the Veil, this is hurting them desperately if they ever wanted to do the +1. Because, oh. Yeah, Otepec Huntmaster. If they ever did the +1, we have no cards, they have a bunch. It hurts them insanely, hurts them. But this is, it's looking all right. Like I was saying, like you were asking about this new Lukka, worst case scenario, he makes a bunch of little tokens, pairs quite nicely with Domri, -1 for a 4/3 toxic 1. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. You have some bodies at least that you can recover from board wipes and various things, or you just increase the number of bodies. You have a creature, a little token creature like this that you could sacrifice to Liliana's -2. But again, they're feeling the pain. They probably don't want to discard whatever it is they have in hand, but they want to take out creatures, so oh, that's not good. That is not good at all. Well, we'll just keep playing something. Hopefully we get something good. My oh my. I mean, as long as we keep making 2 bodies a turn, I think hopefully that's going to work out for us. I'm pretty sure it was Garruk. Actually, it might be Vivian. The Vivian that costs 5 that lets you play creatures off the top. I think it's a -2 to make a beast 3/3, and you get to put a Vigilance, Reach, or Trample counter on it, I'm pretty sure. Oh, well, Topiary Stomper, good stuff. I think they have to go with Castle Garenbrig at this point, but their back's against the wall, that's for sure. +1, make a dude. +1 certainly is better than Lukka's -1, although I think Lukka just lovely versatility. Oh, they were worried about that. Okay. Man, look at these lands. 19, and we got all kinds of stuff. Now, nah, you know what? We're going to do the +1. Would be nice to make a creature, but I want to preserve Lukka, if at all possible. I'll take out Liliana, preserve the creatures that I have. I like that instead. I think I should use that Vivian myself. I haven't done it a whole lot. Of course, it is nice, and I have so many creatures, I can make use of that static ability, playing creatures off the top. Lovely stuff. And Chandra, oh yes, they're definitely done for. Lovely. Chipped away, just kept making a bunch of things, and excuse me, did the trick. I have at least 2 copies of that Vivian. I think most copies of her are pretty good, quite decent, do a lot of stuff naturally that I would want to do. I'm not sure which one is my favorite. I haven't decided quite yet still. This hand though, not gonna do it. Again, on the draw, one land. On the draw I should see two. No, let's not do it. Let's not do it. Okay, wow, that is a lot better. My goodness. You know what? I'm going to send Huntmaster to the bottom. It would be nice, but again, a very good chance that Huntmaster kicks the can of removal. Might as well keep a land on top so we have a bunch in hand. We'll be playing quite a few each turn with this. We got Thunderherd and we'll nicely be at 4 next turn. Whether or not we use it all up is another question. I mean, Thunderherd plus land, super rampy, this one. I think it's a very good chance indeed. It's not a forest and a mountain typing, but it does add a mountain and a forest. And because I don't like doing a whole lot on turn 1 usually, a dual land that scries when it enters, oh, fantastic. And it's dirt cheap in paper as well, so that's also a nice thing. And I guess we just get to go 2 Thunderherds this turn. Okay, yeah, I forgot about that. Just because we drew one. Wow, look, oof, beautiful. Yeah, just the land. Hopefully we get a payoff for all this ramping at some point. I think it's probably guaranteed that they would have killed Huntmaster. Oh yes, 100%. I mean, I do have the Stomping Ground, but yeah, sometimes I'm a little bit light on the actual lands that are typed forest and a mountain, so Castle Garenbrig has entered the battlefield tapped a little bit. And I mean, this is a good turn of events, I hope. We have so many lands, and Huntmaster, you get that immediate benefit of cost reduction. We still could have done this with Land War Elves, but boom, Huntmaster, Regisaur, and hope for the best. At the very least, we could attack with the token. Do I want to do that? Could they easily kill it, make us sacrifice it? Wide variety of things could happen, but I think there's a pretty good chance the token might die, maybe this turn anyways, or next turn, so... Okay, there it is. Well, I know what I'm sacrificing, but luckily we did play 2 things. We sent it back today, turning the Graveyard Trespasser, well, turning it back over so it's not as threatening of a 3/3. Oh, what am I doing? No. I'm tired too. See, I'm not immune to the super aggressiveness. Possibly I still would have died anyways, being down to 7, sadly, but I do have to go now, a little bit shorter than I was hoping for, but my wife is getting tired, so I do want to get to bed and watch my son. He didn't last too long in his bedside crib, but it's the first night. Usually takes a little bit to get him settled in a different space, and yeah, it was lovely overall. I must say, Dimir Control did the trick, and yeah, sometimes things just don't quite work out, but stay positive, try and get as many reps on a certain variation as you can, and get the best feel for the deck. See as many different scenarios on the play, on the draw. Think through things. If you have a plan of the first few turns, first 6 turns, say, just stick with it. That plan will happen, but sometimes that plan won't happen, and there may have been nothing you could do about it. Yes, have a good rest of the evening, Pterosaurus, everybody else. Thanks, Cut. Ina. Who else? Yeah, bunch of people tonight. Hopefully have a good one. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow night, and hopefully I find my Castle Garenbrigs. Have a good one. Maybe we will get a rematch. Probably, there's a good chance.